Alright guys, Razorblade Mango here, and it's that time I always like to talk about the most, the Sony press conference, which, again, I'll probably get labeled a fanboy and a Sony pony for dissing on Microsoft and fucking praising Sony, but far and away, I'm in the minority on this one. I thought Sony fucking killed it at E3 this year. Not one of their very best conferences, mind you. Like, I'd say out of the ones that I've seen, this is probably like their fourth best. Yeah, probably like fourth best. But still, I thought it was great. Very well done, very well paced. But I'll talk more on that later. Let's get into the games. So they started out with the orchestra again. Not exactly. They started out with, a band playing the sitar. And I thought it was going to be like, oh, are we getting like Prince of Persia or something? Are we going to get that? And no, it was Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, which I forgot was set in India. And they showed a trailer for that. It would have been nice if I had been able to hear it the first time, because the Twitch stream for this was fucking awful and the sound was off for both the Uncharted and Horizon and some of the Days Gone stuff. So that was off to a really bad start, and YouTube didn't really help because YouTube kept crashing. So yeah, not a good year as far as technical issues go with Sony's conference. Not really good this year. But once I've seen all the trailers. I saw the Uncharted one, Lost Legacy. Cool, awesome. More Chloe, more Nadine, awesome. More Uncharted, can't wait. August 22nd, gonna play it. Now, one of the ones that surprised me the most was Horizon Zero Dawn: The Frozen Wilds, which is alright, a DLC. I'm shocked we're getting it so soon, but I'll need to see more before I go all in on this. But you guys know, I love Horizon Zero Dawn, and I've wanted an expansion for this since I first finished the campaign. I can't complain. It looks cool. Apparently there's a whole new location, new quests, new armor. There's like a new baddie to fight, new big giant creature to fight, new machine. Awesome. Pretty excited. Can't wait. I just want to see more, please. Then they moved on to Days Gone, which, truth be told, I wasn't too crazy about the demo last year. I liked the trailer that they showed, but them ending it with Days Gone with yet another zombie game, I thought, oh, okay, alright, meh. But this was much more interesting. This demo showing off how you're able to manipulate the environment around you via using the hordes of zombies to get past opponents, to draw them away, to take advantage of like the noise that bandits can create and trapping them. Even with all that said, it does look very Last of Us-ish, but it's set more like in the open world. It is an open world game. I don't think it's following like a linear story, but it looked good. I'm still not fully sure what the game is about or how it plays, minute to minute, but I liked that you could, actually like manipulate these World War II zombies to your advantage. I thought that was cool. And and there's a zombie bear, which I thought looked cool, and there's zombie wolves, which is also interesting. God, yes. Please show like zombie hawks and zombie eagles and shit like that. That would be great. I'd buy your game day one if you show me a zombie eagle. Then they talked about another one I thought was surprising, which was Monster Hunter World, which, to be honest, I haven't played a single game in this franchise, and I most likely will not be playing this, but I know it means a lot to people, definitely to people I know personally. And to be honest, like, I was much more excited for them than I was excited for this game. Like, once I figured that it was a Monster Hunter, I thought, oh, okay, cool. I know people who are excited for this. Cool. I'm happy for them. Especially when I found out that it was going to be like a online 4-player co-op thing I was just like, nah, it's not really my thing. But again, I'm happy for the people that are really excited for this, because I heard this was like one of the most, biggest surprises, most popular things from Sony's conference, or even E3 in general this year, this Monster Hunter World. Then, they moved on to a small trailer for Shadow of the Colossus remake, which I knew immediately what it was once the first frame popped up. All I had to see was that super iconic bridge. I knew exactly what it was, and I was like, holy fucking shit. And from everything that I've seen with all the graphics and the new engine and everything, oh man, does it look good. I'm a little sad that they got rid of the really washed out art style that made the original game really stand out back in the day, but I'm fine. I'm fine with that being gone as long as it looks this good when it comes out. And normally I'd be really skeptical about it with Team Ico not being involved or Fumito Ueda not being involved, but this is being done by SCI Japan and Bluepoint. And Bluepoint are the guys that did the Shadow of the Colossus and Ico HD remasters for the PS3. They also worked on the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection for Sony. I think they did the Gravity Rush remaster for PS4 as far as I know. They have a history of working on Sony remasters. So getting them involved to remake Shadow of the Colossus, which it is a full-blown remake with new art assets and new control scheme, which is perfectly fine with me, because as much as I love that game, it is a product of 2005 as far as the controls go. That was none the more evident than when I played The Last Guardian. So that I'm really, really, really fucking excited for. Then they showed a trailer for Marvel vs. Capcom, which, meh. I'm not crazy about the roster. I thought the gameplay demo was just okay. So fighting games aren't really my thing these days anyway, at least playing them day one. So that's a pass for me. Call of Duty World War II. Now, I will be honest, I was very grateful that they made the obligatory Activision stuff very brief. Like, both this and Destiny 2 were really brief, when I expected them to be full-blown, 9-minute demos. And that would have been, ugh. But this is probably the first Call of Duty that I will play, at all, in a while. Because I skipped out on, I think the last one I played was Black Ops 3, and I thought that was shit. I didn't bother with Advanced Warfare nor Infinite Warfare, and I refuse to fucking touch that Modern Warfare Remastered until a single version of it is set aside, sold separately, and it's at a cheap price. Because I'm not gonna fucking pay $40 or $50 or whatever they're gonna charge for it. They can go fuck themselves. They think I'm gonna do that. So I honestly just want World War II for the campaign, but there was a multiplayer trailer that they showed, and yeah, it looked fine in the nice shiny trailer form, but seeing all the gameplay for multiplayer, I was just like, it does not look like they've really changed anything. Even if they do add in this new narrative driven war mode where you have to, it's kind of like the operations mode from Battlefield 1. It still looks really twitchy. It still looks like that fast-paced, Twitch-based, pay attention or you're dead kind of gameplay, where the window to kill is so tiny, and the window to survive is even tinier. All the gameplay that I saw, I was watching people just get mowed down left and right. Just Call of Duty multiplayer is so alienating to me nowadays, particularly after playing multiplayer like Titanfall 2, which I think is excellent. So I don't think I'm going to get into World War II's multiplayer unless they dramatically change it for the beta, but I don't know. And I'm going to try the beta for this, but I'll give my thoughts on that when it comes out, most likely. But I'm really unsure about the multiplayer at this point. Then they did a full obligatory VR shit section, which, nah. Skyrim VR, okay. That Moss Mice game that they did, okay. Everything else, blah, just did not give a fuck. And really, Square Enix? Really? You don't have Final Fantasy VII Remake at E3, but you brought a fucking fishing game. A virtual reality fishing game set in Final Fantasy 15 land. You wasted precious time and resources on that. Wow. You are fucking lucky that you showed Kingdom Hearts 3 at that orchestra thing. Ooh, you are fucking lucky. Because you narrowly escaped me doing that video of Square Enix has lost their goddamn mind. Which, they showed that. Great. That still doesn't excuse that stupid fucking fishing game that they're doing, which I don't know what they're thinking with that, so. Blech. Then, oh yes, my favorite part of the conference, hands down, God of fucking War, which we got. I expected it to be like the finale, and it was going to show a boss battle or something, but no, it was like a 5.5 minute story trailer for this. And I loved it. I loved the way it looked. I loved all the combat that they showed. I loved the fights that you're going to get into. I loved the dialogue between him and his son. I thought that was interesting. I loved that they're not sacrificing the gore or the big, huge, epic set pieces for this new, like, smaller, intimate story. And I was blown away by it. And as much as I love the carnage from the previous games, they're selling me on this new vision of God of War, like 100%. This exploration of Kratos as a human being and whether or not he can redeem himself by taking care of and teaching his son how to be a warrior. And like I said, doesn't forego the gore, because you see him taking that giant pillar and slamming it down on that troll's head, and his head just crushed, and you see the gore spill out, and you know, they're not getting rid of the jaw-dropping spectacle either, which they came in and they showed off that giant fucking world serpent, which I'm like, holy fuck, this looks good. How could you not be impressed by that? Fuck, it looks good. And all the implications of like all this leading to like Ragnarok and this like final battle with the gods, and oh my god, oh, God of War. I was hoping, I had actually heard from a rumor that the release date was going to be November. Like November 29th, I think the rumor said. And I would have been stoked if this had been November, but it wasn't, unfortunately. It's early 2018 it said, which I'm pretty sure is going to be March. So this, absolutely this is probably, like right now, out of all the things that have been confirmed for 2018, this might be the one. Either this or Red Dead Redemption 2 are like the two that I am definitely looking forward to the most in 2018. Definitely the most exciting exclusive as far as I'm concerned. Even more so than Death Stranding right now. Once I know more about Death Stranding, then that will probably shoot to the top. But God of War, this is the one. Out of all the things coming in 2018, all the PS4 exclusives, this is the one. Then they showed off Detroit Become Human, which I felt like, even in a conference that was this short, and it was like 45, it was like an hour and 15 minutes, 45 minutes around that point. This could have been shortened down. Now don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to Detroit Become Human, but I got the point of what this game was last year. I didn't need to see a 6-minute trailer detailing one character, and I'm a little disappointed that it's going to be focused a lot on this. Again, it's like this human android apartheid and moral conflict and physical conflict and all this shit, and it's like, oh, That's what this is about. Okay. Now, I don't think David Cage has the subtlety to handle something like this interestingly, but I hope I'm wrong, because I do want to get into this game, because I do think David Cage is an interesting guy. He's like, he has a very mixed bag as far as the games go. Like, there's things like that I do like of his, like Beyond Two Souls, which I like quite a bit, and then he did Fahrenheit, which I like. Did not like Heavy Rain. Don't like the first game that he did, but I'm hoping this is one of the good ones, because a lot of people don't make these like choose your own adventure games on this kind of budget and this kind of scale. So I hope it's good. I really do. But the theme that they're showing off of the human and android conflict, that's got me worried that it's going to be generic as fuck. So we'll see. Then they showed off Destiny 2, which I'm like a beaten housewife when it comes to this game, but I will probably buy Destiny 2 when it comes out. And they showed off all the PlayStation exclusive content, which means whatever, I'm probably gonna get it on fucking PlayStation 4 or whatever. Yeah. Hooray, more PlayStation exclusive content. And then they closed the show with Spider-Man, in which they're officially titling Marvel's Spider-Man. I was excited as fuck when this was revealed last year. And thank God, I really liked what I saw with this. And it takes a lot of influence from the Arkham games in terms of gameplay, where he's, doing the stealth predator sections where you get to stand on top of the roofs or the higher up planes and trap your opponents and lure them all and then get them hung up on the ceiling and stuff. And then when you get into combat, it's the very Arkham style combat where you flip and fly around and block and counterattack and all that. And I think this now works better for Spider-Man than it does Batman, because when Batman was doing it in Arkham Knight, it looked ridiculous. It was fun as hell, but it looked like Batman had actual superpowers, like actual superhuman quickness and strength. So that got a little crazy, but Spider-Man having it, I think, makes a lot more sense. Like, I'm okay with it. What worries me about the Spider-Man game, though, is it had like a rampant number of QTEs that started popping up more frequently in the second half. Now, I don't mind QTEs when they're done sparingly, but what they showed off in the trailer was a little bit overkill. And I mean, in the demo, a little bit overkill. Not the Order 1886 bad, but it's concerning. But thankfully, everything else that I saw from it looked fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing more. And yeah, they closed the show with that. It was a really quick show, just bam, 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 games, done. Like, this was a hell of a show for me. A lot of people were saying how underwhelming it was, how mediocre it was, that they were disappointed with it. They didn't drop any like megatons or new IPs or anything like that. But to be honest, I didn't mind, which, considering this is the best exclusive lineup that PlayStation has had in a long fucking time, I don't mind that at all. Like past shows, it was this like really concise, laser focused, rapid fire of mostly really good looking stuff. And they were so close to doing what I was hoping they were going to do. They were so close to making this all about exclusives, which after Microsoft, which they were like stretching the meaning of the term to make their portfolio look less bare bones and anemic, Sony fucking came out with like actual exclusives with bam, God of War, bam, Spider-Man, bam, Days Gone, Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted, Detroit, Shadow of the Colossus. We didn't need The Last of Us Part 2. And really? Were you guys really expecting The Last of Us Part 2 after they said 6 months ago that it was just now entering early development? I think that's a little unrealistic. Death Stranding 2, a lot of people were like, where's Death Stranding? Well, Death Stranding's another one that's just now doing development. So, wait. Give those games time to simmer and then they'll come out and they'll look great. Now, the one thing that I was a little disappointed with is that we did not see Sucker Punch's game. And I'm hoping that it turns out okay. I'm hoping it's Sly Cooper, but I have my big instinct is that it's not. And yeah, they're saving I'm pretty sure they're saving a lot for PSX, which, considering it's going to be in Southern California again this year, I'm going. Definitely going again. I loved it last year. I can't wait to go. And yeah, I just thought it was a great conference. Like, everyone's been complaining for years that they want a conference where it's just bam, 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 game, and then they fuck off. And this was the one, and yet everyone was complaining about it. It was like, well, what do you want? Do you want to go back to the days of them standing on stage and droning on and on about TV and fucking all their statistics? This was like the exact opposite of what I complained about back in 2014. When 2014, in order to like pad it out to 2 hours, Sony brought in Sean Layden on screen and talked on and on and on about their statistics, and went on and on and on about PlayStation View, and on and on about Project Morpheus, which at the time was what PlayStation VR was called. And then they brought on the guy that talked about that fucking awful Power show that they were doing for they were trying to launch some kind of PlayStation exclusive television library or something. It was like, no, if you don't have 2 hours to fill out, don't bring out this shit. And this was like, they took that criticism to heart, where they came out with this. They trimmed off so much excess fat. It was like this lean, mean show. Just, they had enough that was good for 45 minutes. I agree, they could have waited to show off Gran Turismo in there. I agree, they could have shown off Ni no Kuni 2 with the release date. They could have shown off the Undertale PlayStation 4 version, the PS Vita version. That all would have been great in there. Maybe not Knack 2, because I really don't care about that. But it could have been a little bit longer. Could have had a little bit more like weird stuff in it. But I thought this was a great show. I was surprised when I found out everyone was pissing on it. And they were like, oh, Microsoft did it better. I'm like, no, they really didn't. PlayStation kicked their fucking ass this year. Again. So, final grade for Sony, B+. They saved the best for last with this one. I don't think it will hold up as well as like some of the other conferences, because it doesn't have those like beautiful, everybody talking moments like Final Fantasy VII Remake did with 2015, and God of War and Death Stranding did with 2016. But yeah, Sony's got a lot coming out, and I'm a little disappointed still that there isn't going to be a big, massive fall exclusive from PlayStation. I figured either like Days Gone or Detroit would be that one, but I guess not. I guess they're not gonna. I guess they're just gonna give up completely on fall and just stick with their third-party partners like Destiny 2 and Call of Duty and Star Wars and FIFA and all that, which I don't think is a very wise decision, but if they've had a hell of a year this year. They had, Horizon, Neo, Persona, Nier, Yakuza, like a lot of good shit, and it looks to be a really strong 2018. Like, pretty much everything that they showed off was almost 2018. Like, as far as exclusives go, yeah, like God of War, Days Gone, Detroit, Shadow of the Colossus. The only things I can think of that are coming out this year, like the big PlayStation stuff, is Gran Turismo, Knack 2, Uncharted, Lost Legacy, and Horizon Zero Dawn expansion. Yeah, the 2018 show. So, yeah, I'm excited. And I didn't mind that it was all the stuff that we had seen last year, because I've waited a whole year to see it. See more of Spider-Man, see more of God of War, and that's exactly what I got with this conference. So I was tremendously happy. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the Sony conference. Let me know what you thought of E3 overall. And with that being said, this concludes the E3 2017 videos. Looking forward to E3 2018. we'll see if Xbox can make a rebound or any of that shit. Anywho, thank you guys for watching as always. Take care, everyone. Bye.